What's up, everyone? I just wanted to take a second and let you know how much I appreciate all of our listeners and supporters of the podcast. If you enjoy the content, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a second to like, subscribe, share, and review our podcast. It really helps us out in ranking to get the word out about the industry. Now here's a brand new episode of Toolbox Talk. Welcome, I'm Jeff, your host from the All Wrapped Up podcast, and this is Toolbox Talk. All right, so we'll go live now. We've got Dan Bulat from MagStrapz.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on to the podcast. Typically, in the beginning of the podcast, I like to get a little inside look of what you did for today at your shop.
Well, today we got done with a show car for Toyota for Chicagoland Speedway that's heading out to the Chicago Auto Show.
Nice.
We did a blackout package on an SRT8 Grand Cherokee, and we did two different municipalities police cars, and I know there's one more thing in there. Oh, no, there's a Transit Connect passenger van for some sort of group in the city of Chicago.
Nice. Busy then. Yeah,
we just kind of exploded. Like, I feel like our spring is coming on.
Earlier than later?
Yeah, sooner than later, even though the snow has just been incredible all of a sudden. So.
Yeah, tell me about it. We got about 3 inches of snow today up here in Boston, so.
Yeah, well, we got like 12 coming tomorrow, I heard. So.
Dan, tell me a little bit about your business. You are the owner and operator of Element Graphics and Design, right?
That is correct. We're in Mokina, which is a suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
And I've owned it for 27 years now, going on 27 years. So
Wow.
I've been in the business a long time. Started out actually in a bedroom in my condo when my wife and I just got married. So, you start out with your little plotter and your little printer or your little computer, and you buy a couple rolls of vinyl, and man, you're in business.
The story of a sign maker.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's awesome. So you've built it from your house, and then built this little empire outside. How big's your shop, and how's your layout?
We have about 3,500 square feet, and we can house probably, I would say, comfortably to work on maybe 6 to 8 cars at one time, plus all our office space.
And how many employees do you have?
Let's see. We got 2 full-time installers, a part-time production guy, 2 full-time designers, and an operations director, and myself.
That's great.
So, yeah, we've come a long way from the bedroom.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
That's awesome. So 27 years in the industry, unbelievable. So you've seen a lot of stuff change in the industry, going from, cut vinyl to digital to now, color change wraps.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you guys have heard this a million times as far as, we used to think it was the coolest thing to, cut vinyl and put a name on something or whatever, or letter a vehicle with cut lettering. And it's just come so full circle that, we could do anything now.
Right. That's awesome. So many years in the industry, now you're creating this unbelievable tool for the wrap and graphics industry called MagStrapz. Tell me a little bit on how you came up with this product.
Well, the product came into fruition here because of a need. Being in the industry so long, you as a business owner, you see things happening on a daily basis.
Right.
And after a while, you really get frustrated. You really do. So I would say it was like 3 years ago now. We specialize in fleet vehicles. Mm-hmm. So we landed about 250 full-size transits, full wraps. And we had to do about I think it was like 6 a week.
Wow.
So I took on a couple temporary guys and, the rest of my crew and everything to get these things done. And of course, you're going out and you're buying extra tools because everybody needs tools to get these things done.
Right.
And, I never was one to cheap out and buy the more inexpensive tools like heat guns and things like that. And so I'm always buying, the $150 master heat guns. And, back, whenever I started all this, I was always buying the expensive ones. And so I'm giving them to these guys to wrap these vehicles, and they're up on ladders and they're up on scaffolding. And I just keep seeing these heat guns bouncing off the ground from the roofs,
Yep.
and I'm cringing because, as soon as they hit the ground, that's the
it.
heating elements break, they're done.
Yep.
So and I'm like, I can't deal with this. This is just getting crazy. There's got to be a better way. And then I have other guys that strictly like to use torches. So I'm like, okay, then now I see torches bouncing off the ground from the roofs. They're rolling off the roof or they're on a bumper and they're falling off. And I'm just waiting for one of these tanks to, explode,
Right.
That's what you're kind of waiting for. So I just started screwing around with ideas with stuff in the shop, thinking, God, there's got to be a way to, attach something to these things and keep them stuck to where you're working, but yet be able to move them, be mobile, move them around so they're not just stuck in one spot.
Right.
So I started making all kinds of prototypes and I'm not an inventor. I have a bachelor's degree and part of my master's degree in design and in some sort of, parts of engineering and business. But I'm like, well, I'm just going to give this a stab in the dark and see if I can make something for these heat guns because I just cannot keep buying these heat guns. It's costing me more heat guns than it is for I'm making off these wraps.
Yeah.
So long story short, the MagStrap evolved after probably, 20 prototypes and getting the proper magnets, getting the proper rubber, getting the proper size straps, things like that. And basically, in a nutshell, that's basically why it was conceived.
So due to spending too much money on things breaking, you found an ingenious way to keep it upright on a car or on scaffolding to keep it off the floor.
Right. And I was tired of seeing my employees putting them between their legs.
Yeah.
A hot heat gun. So I'm like, that is not the place for a heat gun.
Yeah, liability.
No matter
liability.
Yeah, liability. Yep. So I'm like, the tip of that thing is still hot, no matter what you're doing. And a lot of them got burnt, and a lot of them have scars. And I'm like trying to solve a problem for all kinds of reasons, not only just the money aspect, but there's a danger factor into that, and I don't want to be getting someone walking into my office and saying, hey, I need to go to the emergency room. I got a really nasty burn.
Yeah.
Well, that was another reason, that this whole thing started evolving.
Yeah, I think everyone's been there. I've held, and the worst part is that, you're putting it on the floor and it's either on or maybe off at times, maybe more on than off. And you're trying to wrap something and then split second, you don't look down to grab that handle and you grab the wrong side of the heat gun. I know numerous people that have done that, and I've come witness to doing that once or twice, and it's not.
Oh, I have too.
It's not fun. It's definitely not fun.
No.
So you found a way to have it on a magnet with the strap, so you can at least attach it to the car or a part of the car where you don't have to bend down. It's always at hand's reach, and it's safe. And use it properly to save an emergency trip, to the hospital or something,
Well, not only even, obviously it started with like the larger vehicles, like ProMasters or Transits or whatever, where you're up on a ladder and there's nowhere to put the heat gun. Mm-hmm. So if you could just stick it right next to you, or, if you don't want to even stick it next to you because you're working in that area, stick it to the roof. The
Right.
cord is not going to pull it down right off of the vehicle, if it's stuck well. So then, it's not that's kind of where it evolved. But then even working on cars, even sitting on a little stool roll around cart, you're not constantly setting the thing on the ground, which it doesn't belong there either.
Right.
So we need to keep it at hand's length, and then I also developed it so the strap could be reversed. So if you're a lefty, you could flip the strap around. If you're a righty, you flip the strap around on the other side.
Right.
So
you have the magnet on both sides.
Correct. Right. So you could flip it around. You can make it a left-hand strap. You can make it a right-hand strap. It's very universal.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And I got to tell you, I think when I first introduced it, there was a little bit of hesitation from installers. Like, yeah, I don't need that. It's no problem. But I'll tell you, where I won a lot of people over is when I got one in their hand and they actually tried it.
Yep.
Because once you try it, you're like lost without it. And I have so many different customers tell that to me all the time. It's like, I'm working. I know exactly where it's at. I could grab it, hit it with some heat, stick it back to the car, continue squeegeeing, whatever, and I know right where it's at. And it seemed to really fill a niche in the market in our business that seemed to really be a call for.
I definitely agree with that. And now tell me a couple of different scenarios that people have used the MagStrap, not just for holding the heat gun up while you're installing, but different ways that people are becoming more inventive with it. Yeah,
they're getting pretty inventive with it. Yes, for sure. Well, social media is a wonderful thing, obviously. So we started getting MagStrapz in some of the well-known installers' hands and people all around the country, and they started buying them and whatever, and then I started seeing pictures of MagStrapz in things and places that I've never ever expected. That wasn't the intent, but you know what? It works. So I've seen pictures of them holding beer cans, so you can have your beer while you're working late at night on a wrap, and those I see a lot of those. People use them to hold extension cords up.
Yeah.
I've seen them wrapped around WD-40 cans, underneath hoods of cars. They're getting around. They're really finding all kinds of uses for them. I've seen them on water bottles.
Yeah.
Whatever you could think of, they're on. And if they're something that people could take with them while they're working, and they could stick it somewhere that it's going to be in a convenient spot, then great. It works for them.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people using it as a tool to hold either their heat gun up off the floor on their toolbox, holding their cords, which is a huge thing too. At the end of the day, if you do have a huge crew and everyone's got MagStrapz, they put their tools away and it's up off the floor. It's in a convenient place. It's neat, and everybody knows where they store them. I think that's such a cool way of using it, and getting the declutter out of the way and not sticking it in a cabinet or you see everyone wrapping up the cord on the heat gun and just throwing it in their bag. Use the MagStrap to hold the cord and hold the heat gun all in one in a convenient little spot and be done with it.
Right. And in my shop, we have like a steel beam, because it's like a cinder block type of building. And there's a steel beam like that goes right through the middle on that one wall of the shop.
Yeah.
And if anybody walked in there on any given day, you're going to see like 3 or 4 or 5 heat guns stuck to this beam, all lined up. So everybody knows where to go get a torch or a heat gun. They're all stuck there.
That's awesome.
So, and then even with the torches, we always recommend two straps on a torch because of the length of them.
Right.
So that's why we developed different sizes, because they come in 12-inch, 14-inch, and 16-inch. And the 12-inch was really designed for that really small little heat gun that you'd maybe go to Ace Hardware for, or that, little Home Depot guy.
Yep.
And a lot of people use them because they're lightweight. So we developed that 12-inch for that. The 14-inch is still really our main seller, because the 14-inch will go around pretty much any heat gun, and they work very, very well on the blue tanks for the torches.
Right.
The 16-inch was developed solely for the big green camping tanks for the torches.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys like to use those little fat little torches tanks. So those we kind of developed them for that, or I developed them for that. And then also there's some very large heat guns out there. So the 16-inch is a little easier to throw on than a 14-inch.
Right. So your first one that went out to manufacturers were the 14-inch ones, or did you kind of come up with all of them all at once?
I think the 12 and the 14 were the originals. Okay. And then, due to people emailing and texting us and calling us, that's when the 16 was developed, because of they're like, hey, do you make one for those green camping tanks? And like, oh, well, we can. And sure enough, we sell quite a few of them, because there's obviously a larger need than I even thought.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll tell you, the magnets are really strong. I mean, they really hold up the product. They're not cheap magnets, I'll tell you that. I can clearly
no,
tell.
They're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a lot of people laugh a little bit. It's like, oh, it's just a Velcro strap. And it's like, they don't realize the amount of actually manufacturing that goes into getting that magnet sandwiched in that Velcro with those pads of rubber and sew it all, because no one thinks about that. Guess what? That magnet sticks to everything, including sewing machines. So we had to develop a way to actually manufacture these, because those magnets are so dangerous when they're by themselves. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't begin to tell you, when I started messing with magnets, how many blood blisters I got from them slamming together.
I'll tell you, and I think I may have put, actually, it was during my live podcast with Chuck the other day. I had told him my reaction to opening the box of the MagStrapz. Yes,
right.
You have to be you should put that right on the label. Be cautious.
I thought about that
when ripping the tape, because I literally opened them and all 6 of them just smushed my finger. I must have screamed like a little girl for half a second, and that was peeling them away from my finger. It was awesome. I'm like, wow, yeah. I really couldn't believe, even those little ones that you have, the MagStrapz, the magnet on them is just unbelievable. I can't believe you got that much magnetation.
Holding power?
Yeah, like on that little tiny magnet, because as soon as they stick together, they're hard to get apart.
Yeah, definitely. And the ones like the new product that we just came out with, well, we have three different products now. We have the MagStrapz, mm-hmm. and then second, we it wasn't last year, the year before, we introduced the Mag Band, and that was at SEMA.
Yep.
At I think it was at Carl Brewer's after party.
Okay.
And we introduced it there, and that's the Mag Band, which goes around squeegees, because that was the next thing. I was so tired of seeing squeegees in my employees' mouths. I'm like, I'm not touching that now. Not to be a germaphobe, but you've been sucking on that thing for the last hour, wrapping that car, and then you set it on the table or a tray, and then someone else is going to pick it up.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I ain't going there. I'm going to get my own squeegee.
There's no way to sanitize the squeegees, you know?
No. So I came up with another strap, very similar to the MagStrap, which is called the Mag Band, and that goes around any standard size squeegee. So and it's got a magnet on both sides as well. So if you're squeegeeing up on a truck and you need to put your squeegee down, it's either going in your back pocket or your mouth. So we just made it so you could stick it on the vehicle up there or wherever you're at, grab the heat gun, do that, put the heat gun back, grab the squeegee off the car, and just keep working. It's all made for convenience.
Right. And you can actually use the MagStrap to hold up, lettering too, if you're doing like graphics or probably smaller graphics to hold it up, right?
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, and then that leads me into the third product, which is the new mag grips that you were just talking about, the ones I sent you.
Yeah.
We're selling them like 6 in a box, kind of like we're not that is nothing new. Obviously, those orange ones been the industry kind of standard for a long time.
Right.
But I just felt that we should. Actually, it was Shannon. She's the one who works with me on MagStrapz. She's like, I really think we should put our own spin on those type of magnets for holding vinyl to cars, because I think we could do it a little better. And I said, you know what? You're right. Here's another problem in the industry. The orange ones, I know in my shop, again, because all this experience comes out of my shop. My guys drop them off the cars because they'll yank vinyl to move it, and one will go popping off. It'll roll down the floor. It'll go under the vehicle. Well, guess what? It's not found until the vehicle runs it over and breaks the handle off.
Yep.
And you're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, it's the rubber also. You put that out on the floor, the rubber usually gets a rip in it, and then you can't really use it anymore because it's going to ruin your graphics underneath.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So we put our own spin on it. So the handle actually folds flat, as you know, and you could actually stick them in your pocket. And a lot of guys have been using them. They stick them right to their torch tanks, and they go with them.
Convenient.
And there's no handle sticking out, so they're not going to get knocked off. And they're so powerful that you're not going to lose them.
Yep. I love that you have the strap as opposed to a plastic like little handle or no handle. I mean, the strap is just perfect.
Right. And that took a lot of R&D, a lot of research and development, because what the problem we were having in the very beginning, that magnet is so powerful. When you pull that tab up to pull that thing off the vehicle, we were having tearing problems. So that took a lot of development to get that mag grip just right, so they really hold up. I've always tried to develop everything, my whole line, all 3 products that we have now, that will hold up, that they're not disposable.
Right.
I mean, I don't think it's fair that we make, I don't want them to make them be consumables. I mean, as much as that would benefit me, I don't want that in our industry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help our industry because I've been in it so long. I know what it's like. I don't want to have to keep ordering mag straps. I don't want to have to keep ordering, mag bands or mag grips. I want them to make them so they'll last you, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah. Quality. Definitely.
That's the whole thing. That's what I tried to put in it.
Since you've been doing it. And how long have you been designing the MagStrap brand?
It's been about 3 years now. 3 years.
And now you've got it in almost all major manufacturers, not manufacturers, but distributors. Right? To sell your product. And I honestly think the price point is perfect.
Yeah, and we tried really hard to get them down. And you know what? We can get the price down lower, but I'd have to send them overseas.
Right.
And I really like the idea of, I mean, I know it's an old cliche, the made in America thing, but we do manufacture them here in the States, and it does keep the price point up a little higher, but the quality is there. Yep. I can control it. I know what I'm getting, and I know what I'm selling. And yes, they're available, at Fellers nationwide. They're available at Metro Restyling and Wensco. There's, all the big players have picked up MagStrapz, and they seem to be doing very well. We just started making some for Dub, um, for their own line for doing window tint and wrapping and things like that.
Yeah.
And we're making some. We're going to be doing some for Hexus. They're going to be actually selling them in France.
Wow.
Um,
So you're going international with it now?
Yeah, we're ready. I think, I don't know all the countries we're in right now, but I think we're in about 6 or 7 different countries right now.
Good for you.
So they are coming full circle. It's taken a while, and I can't say I wasn't discouraged, but but like I said, once we get them in their hands, that's the important thing.
But yeah, anybody looking to or hesitating on using it, go out and buy it, because I guarantee you'll use it for what its purpose is, as well as get creative with it like everyone else has to use it as well.
We just started actually entering a new market with them out of the wrap market.
Okay.
We're actually starting to enter very slowly because the time of having time to devote to it. We're going into the fitness industry. And what I've come up with is everybody takes a water bottle to the gym with them. And what do they do instinctively? Here, it's a solution. They put their water bottle on the dirty floor. And it's like, you want to really put your water bottle on a dirty gym floor? I don't think so. So people have been putting the MagStrap on their water bottles, whether it's like a shaker bottle or any other brand, Camelback, whatever they are. And they stick them right to the machine they're working on. And again, they're right at arm's length and they're off the floor.
I love that.
And yeah, it's just another little niche market that we're starting to head towards.
Now with your main 3 products that you have now, are you planning on launching anything new for 2018?
Well, I would say right now, we're going to concentrate on mag grips because those are really new.
Mm-hmm.
They've only been out for a couple months now. So I'm going to try to devote this year to getting mag grips as popular as like the orange magnets or any of the other ones. Because I think once we get, these installers used to having them, they're going to really see the benefit of the shape, the rectangle shape, and that handle, that little tab. Once they feel, get used to them, just no different than getting used to a mag strap or a mag band, I really think that people will be really excited about them.
Yeah, I love it personally. I like I said, the magnet itself is, you could tell it's high quality. It's not going to give you an issue, and the stitching around everything too is top notch. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is trying to find the right stitching to hold the magnet when you're pulling it away, because you said you had a couple issues before, people ripping it or whatnot, and that potentially could be an issue, but I think you've got that down packed now.
Yeah, we went through a lot of testing phases, and we tried to launch them premature for this year's SEMA,
Mm-hmm.
and we had prototypes with us just to kind of show people, but we really nailed it. We really got it down. I have a lot of faith in the product. Otherwise, I wouldn't put it out there. I don't want other rappers and like myself, getting aggravated because the tool failed. I just don't want that to happen.
Well, Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you about your product, and I hope everyone goes out and buys one now that may have been hesitant about the product. And I have to tell you, thank you again for sending your MagStrap products to me for a 1K giveaway.
Yeah, not a problem. I really appreciate you doing that and giving away tools to the industry, because there's a lot of guys out there that are just starting out, and hey, every penny counts, and you did this nice giveaway. Someone's going to get a really nice package, and and it's all about awareness, and I appreciate you helping me educate some of the rappers out there, because there's still some people that are skeptical, but I think once we get them in their hands, I think they're going to understand that the importance of it being, a convenience and a safety thing.
I agree. Definitely big on the safety thing for sure. Dan, let everybody know where they can find you on social media or any type of website to, if they got any questions about any products or, again, where they can find your products.
Well, you could find our products pretty much everywhere as far as anybody who deals with Fellers or Metro or any of the larger Wensco, the bigger companies. If you're having trouble finding them, you could go to MagStrapz.com, and that's with a Z at the end. You could go on our website and there's all kinds of educational videos on there. There's list of distributors, or if there's absolutely nowhere where you could find them, we can just get them off the web, off of our website. But we always try to steer our customers to our distributors because, they support us and I want to support them. But, we get a lot of overseas customers that obviously, are in Brazil or things like that just can't find them. Mm-hmm. And, we'll sell them direct, but we really try to steer them towards our distributors because we really want to support them.
And on social media, you're at?
We have the MagStrap Facebook, our Instagram MagStrap account.
Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And again, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for the industry and creating this great new tool for us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And like I said, if it helps one person, I guess I've done my job. If one person didn't get hurt or it helps someone save some money, then I've done my job, and I think it's important. It's important to me. And I just hope everybody else realizes that I didn't create this to get rich. I just created it to fill a need. Being in the industry so long, you just really have to do something that you feel that's going to help all the rest of the people out there.
Definitely. It's all about giving back a little bit.
Exactly.
Dan, thanks so much again.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. I appreciate it.
I want to thank Dan for taking time out of his day to talk to us a little bit on the podcast. Till next time, that's a wrap.